This is a day that has been much awaited, and it comes just shortly before there'll be an arraignment at 2 o'clock today in the Superior Court of Stephen Paul Gale. Mr. Gale will be arraigned on 4 counts of aggravated rape, 2 counts of kidnapping, and 1 count of armed robbery. Those charges arise out of an incident on December 27, 1989, when Mr. Gale is alleged to have entered the Hit or Miss store in Framingham, showed a handgun, and forced 2 female employees to the back of the store before robbing and sexually assaulting them. For 34 years, the identity of that assailant remained unknown. That ultimately changed in 2024, when using investigative genetic genealogy, we developed new leads that allowed us to identify Stephen Gale as the alleged perpetrator. This was a major development, but it was met with mixed emotions because despite significant collaboration from law enforcement across the country, Gale could not be located. Finally, on the 8th of August of 2024, detectives from the LA Police Department's Gang and Narcotics Division, along with members of the United States Marshals Apprehension Task Force, set up surveillance in the area of the California Yacht Marina, located at 718 Peninsula Road in Wilmington, California. They did that because task force personnel had received information that the defendant was living on a yacht that was docked there. At approximately 3:40 in the afternoon, a male matching the defendant's general description was seen getting off a yacht, which was named the Dior, and getting into a maroon Lincoln SUV. That individual drove that SUV out of the marina. The officers attempted a traffic stop, but the driver failed to yield, and a vehicle pursuit ensued. Additional units from the LAPD joined that pursuit, using lights and sirens attempting to stop the vehicle. The Lincoln traveled on multiple roads, including the 110 freeway, the 405 freeway around the LAX area, and around the Westwood, West Los Angeles area, all while being followed by a caravan of police vehicles. At one point, the driver of that SUV ran a red light. At other points, the police unsuccessfully deployed strike strips and attempted a precision immobilization technique maneuver where they attempted to box in that car and move it over. The driver used evasive measures to continue to escape. There was a second attempt using spike strips when the driver was on Westwood Boulevard. That use was successful, and both tires on the driver's side of the Lincoln were deflated. The driver then entered the UCLA Medical Plaza roundabout and came to a stop. In total, that pursuit had lasted approximately 82 minutes and covered approximately 40 miles. The driver, identified as Stephen Paul Gale, was taken into custody and his identity was confirmed. During that pursuit, an acquaintance of the defendant had tried to throw a package into his vehicle. That package was recovered by LA police officers and found to contain money, a cell phone, and an insurance card issued in an alias. Upon his arrest, the defendant had in his possession a number of credit cards, identification cards with different names and companies on them. The pursuit and the defendant's subsequent arrest were broadcast live. Upon seeing those events played out on television, an individual contacted the Framingham Police Department to report that she recognized the defendant to be a person that she had known for years as an individual named Paul Costa. She explained that Mr. Costa had been hired by members of her family to oversee the daily and financial obligations, including the paying of payroll, from a family trust. That trust had paid the defendant's company over $1.5 million in the preceding 18 months, up until August of 2024. Over the many years that this case remained unresolved, victims, their families, and the community at large endured a painful and frustrating wait. It was marked by many false starts and moments of uncertainty. We are, as I said at the beginning, very grateful to have reached this moment and today to have him here to formally be arraigned for his actions. This long pursuit and the ultimate arraignment and the beginning of holding the defendant accountable illustrates our commitment to continually reassessing cases, rooting out new leads, and employing the latest technologies. Although it will be our assistant district attorneys who will stand before the judge today, we would not be here without the help of the public and law enforcement agencies across the country who helped to share photos of Mr. Gale, interview individuals, and really share the commitment that we have to holding him accountable.